dubstep audience. So now, anytime I play a show, whether it's, at a con or not, I always put in all the nerd stuff, and I love it, and I wouldn't change it. It's funny to watch people that think they're not nerds nerd out. I love it. It's fun. And since then, now one of my best friends is the guy that invented nerdcore rap. So now, I don't know if anybody nerdcore fans? Anybody? So sad. Okay, I'll, should I stop in? So you don't have a badge, you can't get in here. Well, should I come see you? You don't have a badge, you can't come in here. If you don't know what nerdcore is, imagine gangster rap only about things like Mega Man and Pac-Man, and it's really fun.
Oh, like Dwayne and Brando.
Huh?
Like Dwayne and Brando, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mega Man, Whitey Cracker, MC Chris, yeah, all those guys. MC Frontalot, I've gotten to work with all those guys. In fact, my friend Dr. Awkward is touring with MC Chris right now. So, yeah. Oh, you've got some nerdcore with you?
No, we don't have it.
Oh, I don't have it with me, but I will. I'll bring some to my next. Yeah, I'll bring some to my next. I'll bring my little iPod. I don't have a fancy touchy iPod, but so it's cool because through that, now I met him, and because of him, I got to meet Knife Party, and I've gotten to meet all these other people in the industry, and it's so funny. Like when I first started doing voice acting, I never thought I would ever meet the California voice actors or the Canadian voice actors, and since then I've met just about anybody I want to meet. The same goes with the music industry. It's ridiculous how tiny the music industry is. And like, you meet one person and suddenly that means you know Skrillex's manager. And it's bizarro, super bizarro land. But it's the same, it's a small industry, so of course it's the same small circle, so it's cool. While my nose makes this horrible noise, I apologize. I'm allergic to some...
I know you're a big fan yourself. Was there one that you met and you had to
Oh my God.
yourself?
That's a good and a bad story, yeah. Oh, no, I've got medicine. I'm actually, what's been helping this is peppermint. Shot peppermint. Anybody that I geeked out meeting Johnny Bosch. Huge fan of his. In fact, he was the first voice actor that I liked better than a Japanese voice actor. His Trigun, I think, is way funnier than the original. And that was a big accomplishment for me, to meet somebody that was funnier in English, than the original intended voice. And the funny thing is, people didn't want us to meet each other. People were like, oh, you two guys probably shouldn't ever meet each other. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, he's a Christian. I'm like, what are you saying about me? And they're like, you're this loud party guy, and you're like super gay and whatever. So here's how Johnny and I got to be super tight buds. Fart sounds. We were at a convention in Austin called Ushicon, and there was some cosplay panel before us, and the people wouldn't get off the stage, and they're just like, well, the thing you need to know about buttons is, and Johnny and I, it was me, Johnny, Mike McFarland, and Doug Smith, and we were bored, and we were keeping ourselves entertained, and we started making different types of fart noises, like the disappointed, and we were just in the back, and they were douchebags, absolute douchebags. And it's taken me a really long time to put my head around that, because as a fan, you have in your mind this idea, you get attached to the show, like let's say it's Oran High School Host Club, and you just think, oh, well, Michael Tatum's going to be this and this and this. Well, Michael Tatum's this other guy, and he has this whole other life, and so, and I'm not saying this about Michael Tatum, so I just used him as an example because of Oran, but oh, no, he's not a douche. That's why I'm qualifying it, saying he's not a douche. Yeah. No, I was using him because I'm thinking of names you automatically associate with the show. But like,
I just didn't want it to come off that way.
No, that's why I qualified it. No, mine was from a very old 80s show, and I met the person, and the first thing that they bragged to me about, now I had accepted 3 convention invites in the hopes of meeting this person. and they had canceled every single one of them. And upon meeting them, they were laughing about it, going, well, you know, I got offered a bunch of money to go to this other show, and, you know, money talks. And I was just like, you're a douche. And now through my friend, Whitey Cracker, he's the one that's taught me, because I've met musicians that have done the same thing, you know, met a musician, total D-bag, and then I can't listen to their music anymore. And he kept going, man, it's the music, not the man, music, not the man. And it's taken me this long, and I've been doing this 14 years, so I guess that qualifies me as very slow. But sometimes when you're watching a performer on stage, that is the best that human being has to offer. That may be the thing they are the best at. They might not necessarily be a fantastic humanitarian. I mean, Hollywood is filled with people that are wonderful actors and not good at being people at all. And so sometimes I need to remind myself of that and not be so... That's why my fandom has changed a lot. I just recently went to see two musicians from the UK. Now, how weird is this? I travel all over the world. My only weekend off in Houston, who gets no musical acts ever, these two musicians from Britain who I've been in love with forever play in this tiny club. So I was lucky. But my friends were like, oh, we've got to go meet them. We've got to go get their autograph. I'm like, nah. And they're like, we've got to go meet them. I'm like, yeah, I'll wait for my fandom, definitely, because there's that part of me that used to be just like, about everything. But that said, I like this new attitude I have on it, because like I said, I enjoyed that show for every beat and every drum hit, but didn't need anything else when I was done. Like I left feeling full, so to speak. So thank you for asking that. It's a really great question.
What about Toonami fans?
Are you kidding me? Come on, are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, I myself am a Toonami fan.
I am too, and I'm really proud that Toonami fans brought Toonami back. But there are a level of weirdness that takes place over anything on television, period. And I didn't believe this. The Dragon Ball actors used to tell me this. They're like, because something is on television, it puts it on a different playing field than other things. And I'm like, nah. You know, because the best, you know, some of my favorite horror films never made it into the theater. They're direct-to-video releases. I thought surely the same thing with anime. The best anime's never been on television. But they were right. Something about coming into people's homes for free, you know, even though cable's not free. Something about coming into people's homes changes the dynamic of that. And people would say things about Dead Man Wonderland that were so weird to me. They're like, oh man, this is so much better than Chrono Crusade. I'm like, no, it's not. They're both totally different. Like, that's like saying, man, Liza Minnelli is way hotter than Pamela Anderson. They're not even the same type of hot. Like, you know, they're very weird, both of them. So that said, Toonami fans, and speaking of people calling me out on the internet, I've been pretty verbal. I was back in the day, I was given a shirt when I took a tour of the Adult Swim headquarters. I was given a shirt that said, because anime is to suck. And I never made it a secret that I thought that shirt was rude, and that, you know, and they openly used to make fun of anime fans on their black and white bumpers. And even though I've met the guys that do the black and white bumpers, and I think they're cool guys, I've never hidden the fact that Adult Swim didn't like anime fans once upon a time. Toonami fans now, because they feel they're single-handedly the reason Toonami's back on the air, have this weird sense that they can move mountains. I think Toonami fans need to be real faithful, because that whole thing relies on people tuning in. And the cool thing about Toonami to me, the thing that makes me a fan of Toonami, is that people like Jason DeMarco have worked tirelessly for almost no money. And they are a different entity than Adult Swim and Cartoon Network. Toonami is its own thing. And the cool thing about Toonami, and the reason I'll put myself in the league of Toonami fans, is these people work really, really hard, so there's something other than just Pokemon on TV. Not bagging on Pokemon before anybody gets their Jigglypuff. But those guys work really hard to make sure it happens. But I do have an internet connection, and I have seen people get wacko. There's a guy that's actually chasing me down for an interview, and it's all about Toonami. All he wants to talk about is Toonami. And I'm like, I don't work for Toonami. I work for a company that sells their product to Toonami. So I think people can get nuts over anything. I think it's just a matter of perspective, which is fine. I encourage some of the nutso-ness. But the stuff we're going to talk about in the panel is stuff that takes more of a dangerous twist, like the girls who were dressed in Italia cosplay that did a very controversial photo shoot in Boston. I'll leave it there. We'll just talk about that when it happens. But